Hello, 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 Rise Up Nation. Welcome back for another episode of Rise Up in Real Estate live stream. There's going to be a bunch of people jumping on here as we talk in our introduction. You'll probably be able to tell that I'm excited. We've been talking about this for weeks, really since R4. Look, I'm getting a message already. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. It may be a Facebook on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get rid of it. Sorry, let me remove this. Never had that happen before. Perfect. We already have a guest on here saying hi. I don't know if you ladies know Deb Bramlett. She's our local CMN representative. Deb, glad to see you. She does so much. But we are here live. I'm excited because we've been talking about this. We have some really special guests on the show today. I cannot wait to hear their story. That's what I love about all the episodes, Ashley, is the stories. I love your story. I kind of like my story. But I love finding other people's stories, and today is an incredible opportunity to do that. A few of the ground rules that I wanted to share with you and to let our guests know. We're live right now on social media and on YouTube, so this will be whatever we say is out there for the world to hear. And then after this, we come down in about 45 minutes, and then we'll edit it, and this will come play as a podcast on all the podcast channels next Monday. We've been doing this show for, I don't know, this is season 8. So you would think it's not my first time, although I've already had a mistake as we've started. But Ashley, why don't you say good morning to everyone, and then I'll get into introducing our guest and where we're headed for the episode.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Excited to be on today's show. I think is just such a special opportunity. So kudos to Tad for arranging this. And thank you for putting this all together. So I'm excited for everybody to be able to hear Arielle's story and just share.
Thank you. It's Lawton, who's normally on here. This is spring break. Our lovely guests are coming to us from a hotel in Florida. That's the lovely thing about technology. Speaking of technology, I want to talk about one thing real quick. People coming from Somerville, Pawleys Island. Hello, Sue. Hello, Carrie. Glad y'all are here. We went around the moon yesterday. Like, I know you guys, I was watching it last night. I know Ashley loved this, but second to that, I think this is the most important thing that's going to happen this week in my life is this episode. But when I watched, I thought about those people 200,000 miles away from Earth. 200,000 miles. They went around the back, what they call the dark side of the moon, and are now shooting back to land in the water. It just blows my mind that these, and isn't it incredible? We've got somebody coming in. Joey Summers is here. Enough about me. Today. This episode's going to go too fast for me. We have with us two beautiful guests, and I'm going to try to figure out how to get their names. There we go. When a comment comes up, we're going to lose it. But we have actually with us, and the story that we're going to hear today, I will tell you up front, it's probably not like anything you've ever heard. It's probably not like anything that you've ever experienced. Thank God. But it's also one of, a handful of miracles I've heard about in my life. And so I think that's pretty neat to be able to share with you. I want to welcome to our show Shakira. Shakira is the mom of this wonderful teenager. Are you a teenager now, Arielle?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you looked like you might be a teenager. This is the mom. Hello, Shakira. So glad that you're here. I just have to start by saying I can't imagine how strong you are. For what you've been through, but I want to hear your story. But welcome to Rise Up in Real Estate. We're so honored to have you. We're in coastal South Carolina, by the way, is where I'm sitting today. And our honored special guest, the national champion for Children's Miracle Network. It sounds like you won, like Michigan did a few days ago. You won a big tournament, but you did more than that, right? This is our national champion for Children's Miracle Network. They're from Atlanta, Georgia, the way that I understand it. But this is, everybody say hello to Arielle. Arielle, it's nice to see you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. Ashley, before the show started, I was on chatting with them, and I said her name wrong right from the beginning. Just to get it out of our system, I called her Arielle, like the Disney movie. But Arielle has nothing on Arielle.
Arielle. I need to practice.
It's the French. So any of you that actually want to say her name on the show today, you can't. But just remember, if you're saying in your head, it's Arielle. It's the French version of Arielle. Yeah. But we have a lot of cool stuff. So it sounds like you're going to meet Deb next week. So tell me, Shakira, what's Elevate? Talk to me a little bit about Elevate.
Yeah, so Elevate is actually Children's Week for the Children's Miracle Network. It's this huge national conference that's going to be in Orlando, Florida. And normally they call it Children's Week, but this year they have elevated the name, if you will, to Elevate. So it's a really cool conference where national champions from all over America and Canada, and then we have some local champions will be there as well, with a lot of corporate sponsors. Remax, of course, is one of the ones that will be there. And there's a lot of times that you'll hear different stories that are going to be shared. Corporate sponsors are going to be winning different awards. And it's just a really nice way to celebrate really just Children's Miracle Network and champions like Arielle, but also corporate sponsors like yourself with Remax.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You, Deb, down there.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Deb is incredible. Like, she literally drives us. We support 3 different children's hospitals in our marketplace with our funds. We are, I think this year, are going to eclipse $1 million given to Children's Miracle Network in the history of the company my wife started in 2007. So it is just remarkable. It might be next year, but I'm optimistic that it will be this year. But we support a hospital in Durham, at Duke University, one in Charleston, the Sean Jenkins Hospital, and then one in Florence, the Children's Miracle Hospital there in Florence. So it's just incredible. And we take tours there. We actually, Arielle, we've never seen someone as beautiful as you in your way in these hospitals, but we usually go to the NICU where the babies are. Oh. And I think that's what's so fascinating about the story, Ashley, to me, is you're the first miracle child that I've met that wasn't born premature. You had actually an accident, like an event in your life that put you in the hospital. And so I want to get there. But before we do, I want to ask a simple question. And Ashley, you can answer this too if you want. But Shakira and Arielle, our guests want to know, what is your favorite food?
That's a hard one. I would say it really depends on the day, but overall, my favorite food would have to be the celebration cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory. My first time that I actually tried it was when I was in the hospital. My godmother gave it to me, and it really uplifted my day, and it was just so good. It was like a chocolate mousse in it, but it's pink, and then there's strawberry in it and cream cheese, and all of it together is so good with the rainbow sprinkles on top.
And it's called the Celebration. I'm writing this down. It's probably the most
important thing. It right now.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Mandy, I don't know if my wife will be on here. She probably will. But my favorite restaurant when we travel is Cheesecake Factory. I don't know why, but I love it. The menu's so extensive, although I order the same thing every time. But great answer. And can you guys tell when Arielle talks, and actually, Shakira, you're so well-spoken too. But how old are you, Arielle?
Well, I turned 14 on Friday.
This week?
Yeah, her birthday's in 2 days.
That's incredible. We're so lucky. So 14, but you are a very well-spoken 14-year-old. And I don't know I'm sure you were before you got thrown into this role and you're learning in this role, but you weren't a rookie when you entered this role. You're a very well-spoken young lady. So thank you for sharing. And I just feel inspiration in your voice, which is crazy. And it might be because I know a little bit of your story. Ashley, what's your favorite food? And then we'll get to Shakira.
Sushi, hands down. I could eat sushi every day for every meal.
The California roll is good.
What did you say?
The California roll is as far into sushi. I know it's not real sushi, but that's as far as I can get.
I don't do real sushi either. Mine has shrimp tempura, so that's cooked, and I have crab sushi, so that's cooked. I don't get adventurous, but I just love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Shakira? Favorite food?
Baked macaroni cheese. My favorite at Thanksgiving. My grandma, we keep the tradition going every year since I was a little girl. I just love baked macaroni and cheese.
Oh, that's so hard at 10 o'clock in the morning. You're sitting in a hotel that doesn't have a kitchen, really, but your room might. But good luck. Those are incredible answers. Excellent. Deb wanted to ask, and you don't have to give away the secret, Arielle. Are you participating in the talent show next week?
I am participating. I'll be singing.
Yeah, those of us that were at R4. Ashley, did we hear her sing?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yes, she has a beautiful voice, so that is perfect for the talent show.
Thank you.
How many times, Arielle, be honest, how many times have you had someone walk up to you after you've sang and said, why don't you do The Voice or American Idol?
I mean, not many times, but a lot of people say that I sound good singing.
Yes, incredible, I think it was the word I would think of. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Most of our guests are probably wondering who in the world is this person. So, let's see. Deb says, are we participating? Oh, look at here. This is my wife, Mandy. Hi, Mandy. And I think the Fulford kids are on spring break. So Hadley and Hazel and Archer, my 10, let's go do it in the right order, 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and 7-year-old are all watching. And kids, I'm not going to get choked up, but when you have the life that we've had, 6 super healthy children that have never been through something like what we're going to talk about now, kids, I want you to listen to the words that this young lady is going to share. And I know who you are, and I know who my wife is. You'll be thankful that miracles happen, but I'm so thankful for the 3 of you and your brother and your other 2 brothers and sisters as well. I didn't know that was going to happen. Sorry about that. But they're watching, and I'm so thankful to have healthy kids. So we won't sing on the episode, Deb, but you hear her next week. But I was going to sing Happy Birthday, but I'll wait till the end of the episode.
Oh, you're so sweet.
So here we have a family that has been through something, and that's what I want to talk about. But I want to start with tell me, Shakira, what's life like now? Tell me a little bit about your job, y'all's daily routines. See if it's similar to what we all experience on a regular basis.
Yeah, so life now is good. It's better than what it was about 6 years ago when COVID hit and this whole accident happened. And I know we'll get to that, but I wake up every morning. I have 2 dogs, so my day starts with taking them out. We've got Lottie and Layla. Lottie is our Cocker Spaniel. She's a puppy, and Layla is our Chihuahua. Self-explanatory, but they're Arielle siblings because she is an only child. So we get our day started. We walk the dogs. I take the guinea pigs and feed them. We have lots and lots of pets, but I take Arielle to school. She goes to a Christian school where they don't really have a bus service, has for several years. So we just drive. In our story a few years ago, we'll talk about that, was a similar situation where we drive. I just drop her off to school. I go home, and I actually do telework. So as you know, I am working from the hotel here, excuse me. But yeah, I log in, I do my work. I work for a company where they have maternity care for moms that are on different insurance programs. So I just get them activated into the program. And then once my day is over, around 4 or 5, I go and I pick up Arielle from school, who is now doing all the things. She does cheer. She does the play. She's going to be the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. And then we come back home and we get ready for bed after she does all of her extracurricular activities. So that's a day in the life now. We do also do a lot of events with Children's Miracle Network. So if it's interviewing like with you guys on the show today, which is cool, or going to Las Vegas, where we met a lot of you at R4 and speaking, or we've met Adam Devine, where we were able to do a children's promotional video with him. And we've gone to New York for the brand reveal. So
and we do a lot of dance marathons.
Yes, we do. Yeah, I'll let you talk about that.
Like different colleges, like UGA, University of Georgia, and Georgia Tech. So we do a lot of those more recently. And the Georgia Tech dance marathon is this Saturday.
Yes. Yeah. So we're busy. I'm busy working, and she's in school, but then we try to fit in as much as we can with the Children's Miracle Network. You never know what's going to happen with Children's Miracle Network because Asia is the champion ambassador, if you will, that orchestrates all of this. She might text or call and say, hey, Shakira, are you and Arielle available to do X, Y, Z with CMN? Or we might even go to Children's and drop off care packages, our local hospital. We actually have the rehab reunion coming up at the end of this month, where all of the patients that were treated in the CIRU unit, basically where she had her treatment for rehabilitation after the accident, they have a celebration for all the kids every year. So we'll be going to that at the end of this month. So it's a juggling act from work and school to doing all the things with CMN, but we love it.
Well, I was going to ask if your life was like ours, and it's not. It's way busier than ours. So good for you for trying to keep up. This is the reward you get for living through a miracle, is just being stressed out. And you had Ashley at dogs. You had Ashley at pets. Like, did you see her face light up?
Yeah.
Ashley's that girl that will she every few days she has a different pet that wanders up on her porch or she picks up on the highway. She's like Humane Society in one. So
that's Arielle. You guys will get along great. Every time we see like a wandering cat, she's like, "Can we take it home?" I'm like, A, it probably belongs to someone, or B, no, I'm sorry, we already have enough.
Yeah. So go
to
ahead.
put things in perspective, my sister owns a farm, and one time my niece at probably 14 years old came home with a calf, a baby cow, in her lap in a truck and said, "Can we keep it?" And they kept it. So at least she hasn't got a cow home. All right. You're doing great.
Yeah, exactly. I should count my blessings.
And Ashley just went to see the Grand Canyon for the first time after R4. And she got home. I couldn't wait to talk to her. I said, "Ashley, what was your favorite thing?" And she said, "The donkeys that I got to see in this little town." I was like, "You saw one of the great wonders of the world and you were more impressed with donkeys." I love it.
That would be her. Arielle, sure.
Yeah, so I can 100% tell that if you lived in our area, and I should shout out our friends Kristen and Megan who connected us. I think Arielle, you have a friend of one of theirs. They're broker owners at Remax in Atlanta, and one of their daughters is a friend of yours or a friend of a friend. So thank you to them. But I bet if you lived in our area, you'd be our friends. Like you just are very down to earth, cool people. I've got a question for my. Oh, look. My 8-year-old. I love you too, honey. I love you too very much. So life is normal now. Yeah. Ashley, do you have a question burning in your mind?
Nope.
That you want to know yet? Okay. Life is normal now, but I want you to take us back to when life changed for you, because I assume before this accident, life was normal also, just like ours is now. And that's the point of that's one of the points that so strikes me is we never know, do we? Like, explain to me, Shakira, that morning, was it a normal morning?
It was, yeah. So I always like to tell people, because when we go to Elevate and I meet all the other champion moms, a lot of these children may have like genetic rare disorders, or there's leukemia or diabetes, different things like that, which are all unfortunate. And that's why I love that Children's or CMN is doing this. It's health for all kids, because Arielle was a very healthy baby. She wasn't premature. She was born exactly at 40 weeks. My dates were very in alignment. I never had any problems with her. She would just go for her yearly checkups and everything was always great until it wasn't. And life literally came out of nowhere that day. It was January 15th, 2020, a day I will never forget.
So real quick, Shakira, how old was Arielle? Put that in perspective for me.
Yep, she was 7 years old.
Okay. So 7. Archer, she was your age, and Hazel just a little bit younger than you when this happened. So go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. No, absolutely. So yeah, thank you for that. It was 7. She was 7 years old, and it was at the beginning of COVID when there were whispers around about a new disease that no one knew what it was, but we knew that it was going to be something that would definitely, change the world as we know it even today. There's still lingering effects of COVID, but I never dreamt that on my way to school that day, out of nowhere, we would result in this car accident or the head-on collision. And basically what happened was we were going to an award ceremony. Ironically, it was supposed to be a good day. She was going to be getting a lot of awards for like her grades. She had all A's. She had I think it was perfect attendance, all the things, the citizenship award, just everything. I think penmanship you were going to get. And she was really excited. And we were going to school. The school was not very far from us, maybe 15 minutes or so. And unfortunately, someone came and swung in front of me out of nowhere, and it resulted in a head-on collision. I like to say it's kind of like the movies when they say like it kind of fades to black. I'm not being dramatic. That's what happened. And Arielle too doesn't remember hearing anything. I'm sure the people around us heard the crash, but I heard nothing. It just kind of faded to black, and then I woke up in a hospital.
Okay, let me interrupt you. I'm going to ask you questions as we go to make sure I understand the story. And I do want to say hi to Tate. Tate, I'm so glad you're on here. Thanks for being support. We remember you. Remember Tate from stage, right? Yeah. At R4. Thanks for being here. I think that's Tate. I'm hoping I'm not getting that wrong. It looks like it is.
I think it is.
So you were 7 years old. Were you, Arielle, were you sitting in the back seat, front seat? Where were you?
The back right.
The back right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Which is where most moms and dads put their kids. So you can, if you need to get your hands on them, you can. Or if they're choking, you can get back there. So I'm relating to you, Shakira. She's right back there in the back, and a car just made an accidental turn, and you were going how fast? Do you have any idea? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Maybe about 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fast enough.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
fades to black.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you remember is waking up in the hospital. And I want to ask if it's okay, Arielle, I want you to tell what you remember, if anything, too, from the moment it happened. But Shakira, tell me what you remember from that time.
Yeah, so in between, I do remember that the police officer was trying to talk to me, but I was pretty much incoherent. I could remember him talking. I could just remember Arielle just screaming in the back. So I knew that something bad had happened, but I had hit my head so hard, and I believe they said I had a concussion, that I just was not really aware of what was going on. So it was kind of in and out, but I do remember her screaming. You can tell a little bit about what you remember.
What I remember is there's this Kroger when we turn we turn the car, then there's this Kroger, and then there's a lot of hills. It's like a hilly road, and then it's straight shot or whatever. And I just remember just seeing the Kroger, and then it all faded to black, as she said. And then what I last remember, or I remember when the officer was talking to her, I just saw my leg, and it was really bad because it was twisted around where the armrest is between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And I was on the back left on the ground, and I just remember the door was open or moved, and my neck was really wobbly, but I just remember I didn't feel any pain. It was just the adrenaline of shock and fear is what got to me. But yeah, my leg was stuck and twisted between the armrest, and I was just asking for help. And then I just went back to not sleep, but I fell out again.
Yeah. So I want to say something, Shakira, she's telling her story and you're looking down while she's talking. This is not to take you back and relive a horrible moment. I should be sensitive to say, if you don't want to talk about this, we can move on. It just, to me, helps everyone understand the severity of what you went through and the critical value of their donations. And it helps me understand. It just makes me thankful and grateful for every moment. So are you okay?
Yes, no, it is tough, hearing her perspective of it, but no, it's totally fine. No, we've told this story quite a few times, but no, it's okay.
Won't you hug her neck one time real quick while we're sitting here? Just give her a big squeeze just while we're talking. Okay, thanks. So, and Arielle, thank you very much for, I can't imagine, it must have been so quick, and you've had to recount it over and over again and talk about it and all that, but why don't you, so Shakira, I don't know if anyone's ever asked you, what were your injuries briefly? And then let's talk about what was the road ahead for Arielle after this accident.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a concussion, and my lip was busted, and I broke my arm, my right dominant arm. So it was difficult. My mom is my saving grace. She really was able to help take us to all of our appointments because I couldn't drive after that. I was really afraid to, obviously, and Arielle was afraid too. We drove a sedan at the time, and she's like, I don't want to get back into another car until you get an SUV. So we have a Jeep now, a bigger Jeep. But yeah, so those were my injuries. It took several months for me to get, my arm back to where it should be. But regarding Arielle, she really, unfortunately took the brunt of it. She had several different injuries. So she had a concussion. She had a facial laceration, which she had to get a surgery on. So basically a big gash in her forehead. She had a broken femur, which is, is the largest bone in your body. And the worst of the worst is that she was internally decapitated. I did not even know that was a thing. Dr. Rubel told me about that, but internal decapitation is where your skull and your spine are no longer attached. So basically her C2 and C3 were damaged. So the ligaments of where, the skull and the spine are attached were basically severed. So it's an injury that only 50% of people survive. In most cases, if that happens, they will expire immediately. Mm-hmm. So she is really strong. I did not know when the accident happened just how bad of an injury it was. I thought that her leg was just broken, but the surgeon was very sensitive, and he wanted to wait until I got there to tell me what was going on. And he never really used that term until years later to let me know that once she was cleared and everything, because he didn't want to scare me. But it was a very serious injury called internal decapitation. And at the very least, she could have been paralyzed for life, stuck in a wheelchair, or like I said, unfortunately, she could have died, because most people do die from that particular injury.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And you're beautiful, both of you. Look at you. I mean, who would know, right? Who would know? I can't see your insides, but your outsides are beautiful. Ashley, anything you want to? I feel bad. I feel like I'm dominating the conversation, but since it's so sensitive, do you have anything you want to add or jump in, ask questions, or?
No, I just like hearing that surgeon was actually really compassionate about what terms they use to explain everything to you. Sometimes you hear that certain doctors don't have great bedside manner. So you didn't know the term internal decapitation. Did they just share that she had a neck injury?
Yeah. And he was like, he needed to get it stabilized. Exactly. He's like, she's injured her neck. So I guess just me, like my mom's a nurse, so she's in medical, like she probably would have known more, but me being like in layman's term, I didn't really realize how serious it was. But he did tell me, Ashley and Tad, that he had to take one of her ribs, and they stabilized it with metals and screws. So when you say Tad, you know, she looks so great on the outside looking, no one would ever know, but she does have a scar on her neck about this long. So people have asked her like, oh, what's that on your neck? Or, you know, that type of thing. But looking at her, you would not believe that something like that happened, just because she is so active and she's walking around, she's moving around, she's doing sports now. But yes, Ashley, the surgeon had an excellent bedside manner, and we love Dr. Rubel. He literally saved our life, with her life, excuse me. So and mine too, because I don't know what I would have done, you know, if that happened to my daughter, because she is my only child, as you know. I talked about my pets that we have, but it would have been rough. You know, it was rough with the recovery, and we can get into like how she had to learn how to walk again and all of that. But in that moment, I was like, even if my daughter was like in a wheelchair, I would have been happy, because I'm like, at least I still would have had my daughter. Because a lot of people, you know, that go through that, they aren't as lucky. Like while we've been here, I heard about 3 kids on spring break that died in Atlanta, you know, in a car crash. So it literally can go either way. I believe that she has a purpose, and I tell her that all the time. But because of your donations as miracle agents through the Children's Miracle Network, I didn't have to come out of pocket with anything. Like her insurance covered it, and then anything that wasn't covering it, the Children's Miracle Network picks that up, so that, you know, Dr. Rubel could perform this life-saving surgery. So you guys really are saving lives with, you know, all of your donations and help that you do being miracle agents.
Shout out to Dr. Rubel. I'm sure he's on the show today. Doc, thank you. God bless you for doing what you did. I want to paint this picture now, because what they're saying is just sounds like normal, regular life. But what Ashley touched on is important. So if there wouldn't have been a children's hospital to take care of Arielle when this happened, there might not have been the bedside manner that this doctor used. Like this surgeon might, I mean, when you're working in a children's hospital, and for those of us that have visited, those people are extra special. Like they understand. I remember actually seeing where they do the injections or the shots for little bit kids in the Florence Hospital. That's got this giant, comfy, cushy alligator that you can go sit on, and they make it so all the walls are painted beautifully. They take into account that these are children, and that these are moms dealing with their children. So if we weren't donating our money, these hospitals might not have ever been created in the beginning, and now funded. It's incredible when you say, because, you know, normal people go through this, and you can't afford to go through this. I mean, we took our son to get our 3-year-old to get a 2 or 3 stitches right here from hitting his head on the table. And we have good insurance. We're still getting bills.
Wow.
You know, so Children's Hospital not only saved your physical life, it probably saved your financial life. In some regard, because you get so far in debt, you don't know what to do, and you can't live a normal life. So thank God for that. So let's talk about, and by the way, I didn't say this in the beginning, but listeners, if you want to make a comment or ask a question, if you throw it in the comments, I will put it up if it's appropriate. We will screen it, of course, but I'd love to see what you guys are thinking and what you would like to say or ask. But I want to ask Arielle a question. How long was it? And maybe Shakira, you can add too what with what Arielle says after the accident. What was the date of the accident?
January 15th of 2020.
Wow, COVID, unbelievable. That's a whole nother story. I could ask a ton of questions about that, but I won't right now. But so January it happened. How long before you guys were able to look at each other and say, we're going to be fine, and you recognize that you were going to get through this, or was this a long road? Talk to me about that.
I would say it was all cleared up after a year because I did break my leg. I had to get the rod taken out like 8 months later, I would say.
Something like that.
Yeah.
She says with a smile. I had the rod taken out. That seems like such a simple thing. Holy cow. Go ahead. I'm sorry. So a year you were dealing with that. The neck thing was pretty significant. I don't even like to hear. I've heard you say those words a few times now, Shakira, and it shocks me every time I hear you say it. I'm sure some of our listeners, my wife is having to explain to my kids what that means.
Yeah.
The way that I look at it is your skin and your muscles held your head on your body. I mean, simply, thank God. I mean, it was separated and it wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But what was the rehab like for the neck and then the leg also? What happened from there?
So with my neck injury, I have to be careful even now about it because with my sports, like I do cheer, and this could happen to anyone, but you know how we have we hold someone above us, they can easily fall on us because we have to save them before us, we have to risk ourselves. So if they fall on us, I have a bigger chance of being paralyzed because it's very it's stable, but it's not like how hers would be or y'all's would be. So I have to be careful about that. And then I remember after the accident, my physical therapist at Children's told me that in the mornings when I first wake up, do neck exercises so it gets stretched some more, but it'll never be how y'all's would be. So I would have to do this maybe 30 times every day and up and down too. So that could help. And then with my leg, I would go to this one, this small physical therapy place outside of the hospital after school, for about a year and a half, I think. And then I stopped doing that because I was cleared to go.
But this was also during COVID, Tad. So a lot of the therapists, not with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, but the private facility that we were going to, were trying to push for virtual physical therapy, which was very difficult. So it it was one of the worst times for something like this to happen because the hospital did what they could. But once we were discharged to do ongoing therapy, they were closing everything down because of COVID. So that was also a challenge. And making sure that she's getting as much therapy as she needs as close to the surgery and the accident to get back out there was challenging because they were closing everything down and it had to be virtual.
I mean, I can remember those days and what an inconvenience it was for me. And I wasn't even near a hospital. Yeah. They didn't let us go to the children's hospitals for several months when COVID happened. Were you able to see her? I mean, you were 2 months away from you were never asked to sit outside her room because of COVID. You didn't have to go through that.
No, thank God. No, the hospital was wonderful. It was just more so the therapy following it. But yes, I was able to see her. So I was only in my hospital. It was Gwinnett Medical for about maybe a day and a half or so. And they really didn't want to discharge me. But I was like, no, I need to be with my daughter. After I spoke with Dr. Rubel and I saw just how significant it wasn't just, I don't want to say just a broken leg, but it was beyond even that. Once I realized the severity of it, I left. And my mom got me and they were like, well, we'll let you go because we understand, what's going on. But they wanted me to be under observation too, but I just couldn't. I had to be there with my daughter. So I stayed with her with my broken arm in the hospital for, however long we were there. And they started doing therapy with her immediately. So even after she had to have 2 surgeries too. So the one with her neck, but also she had to have the one with her leg. So for ortho, that was Dr. Bruce. Mm-hmm. Dr. Bruce. So with the rod in her leg, she had to try to start walking up the stairs and doing other things. But she was in a wheelchair for a while. But what I love about Children's is that they do not only physical and occupational therapy, but they do pet therapy. So they would bring the dogs in. As you know, she loves pets, so we couldn't be with ours, but we got to see the ones in the hospital. So you would love that, Ashley.
They also did music.
Yes, they did music.
Cool.
Tell them about the other ones that they did.
They do like mental therapy, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they brought in like a priest one
Mhm.
time to pray
with
over us.
Yeah.
So that was like a really good thing.
You did
too.
art therapy too?
Oh yeah, I did art therapy, and then there's this place in my hospital called the Zone, and we would go down like when I had like free time, I would say, and I would make cupcakes there, which were really fun to do, and I would make arts and crafts, which is really nice.
How long were you in the hospital, Arielle?
1 week was at Eggleston, so like my therapy, no, not my therapies, my surgeries, and then the other one was
Scottish Rite.
Scottish Rite, which was for another week, so a total of 2 weeks, but 2 different hospitals.
And I noticed, and I saw Ashley smile and nod her head or make a face when they were trying to keep Mama Bear away from her baby bear. That won't go happen. I saw the look on your face, and I'm thinking to myself, it didn't even dawn on me that when this accident happens, they take her one place and you somewhere else.
Oh yeah, exactly.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. That is a major thing.
It is
for the two of you, for your healing and everything. So that must have been tough.
It was, yeah. And so my sister and her boyfriend were there at the time, and Dr. Rubel was trying to explain to them what was going on. And her boyfriend was like, wait, no, you need to call her mom, because he was like, no, this is very, very serious, the injury that he was describing. So that's when they called me, and they're like, you need to speak with Dr. Rubel. And he's like, XYZ is going on. And that's when I was like, okay, this is extremely serious. I need to get out of here and get to my child, Yeah. So they just bandaged my arm up, and I went. Until this day, I feel like my arm never really healed the way that it was supposed to, but it's okay. I just wanted to make sure, that I was with Arielle.
So much more than I anticipated, because you think about the layer of COVID. You think about you guys going to different hospitals. You think about getting up in the morning, going to an awards ceremony, and the next thing you know, your life is over, changed, like different. It's not so. And you smile talking about making cupcakes, but you must have missed your routine and your friends. Is that right, Arielle? Did you always have a great attitude? Like, you're so happy now. Did you ever get grumpy?
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Well, now that she's a teen, Tad, I think you might know the answer to that one. But go ahead.
I think about my 7-year-old and how super active he is, and you can't he's either running full sprint or asleep. That's his two activities. And I feel like for Arielle, like, you had to learn how to be a 7-year-old again. It's kind of, I'm just imagining what that process was like for you. And did you? I know you have grumpy moments now because you're 14, but what about then? Did you have times where you just said, I'm going to give up? Did you ever feel like giving up?
Okay, so there's a good story for this. Well, maybe
Tell
not
me.
a story, but what happened was, because the accident was in January, just 1 month later was my Valentine's Day party in 2nd grade with all of my friends, and it was really fun. And what happened was, there was this game that they were going to do outside, and it was a very active game that you had to like be able to do on your feet. So I was left alone inside, and it was
because you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, because I was in a wheelchair, and it was pretty disappointing for me. So I feel like with that, it gave me motivation, because before I was just kind of being like lazy about it. I wasn't really putting enough effort into it. But when I realized that I couldn't be able to do the things that I really wanted to do, that really helped me to get up and start my journey again.
That is that's profound that you can remember that moment, and it's just interesting to me how life works and how you just decided, I'm not doing any more of this wheelchair stuff. I'm going to start getting strong again. And actually, I can imagine, Mandy will be the first to tell you that if I get a stomach ache or a hangnail or bump my knee, like, I'm the worst patient in the world. Like, I can't handle. If I would have been in your shoes, Arielle, I'd probably still be somewhere. Somebody'd have to come help me. So I'm proud of you for having the resilience that you have. And your smile is just radiates. Don't you agree, Ashley? I mean, tell me what you're thinking. I just look at your face, and I know you're thinking a lot of things, and I feel like I'm dominating here. What do you think?
No, I think that story of that Valentine's party, like that's such a mature perspective to have at 7 years old, to relate that to, if I want to do the next party with all my friends, then I better get my butt in gear and start doing this rehab a little bit harder. I think a lot of people, I don't even know, some adults wouldn't even put it in that perspective. So that's really incredible. And it's incredible that you were at school at Valentine's, right? After, like, when you told me 2 weeks in the hospital, that it sounds short. It must have been the longest 2 weeks, especially for you, Shakira, of your life, and for yeah. So how did that feel? Did it feel like every day was just unending? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. So I took off work for 2 weeks, and I don't work for this particular employer anymore, but they were very cold. They were like, well, we need to know when you're coming back, because we needed to know how to divvy up the work. So even though it was remote work and I had a broken arm and a child in a wheelchair, I will say that my support and comfort came from my mom and my sister, who were very helpful because I couldn't drive at the time. So I was okay with her being back at the house and just kind of, recuperating. But Dr. Rubel said it's best for kids that age to try to get back into school as soon as they can, to get them back into the groove and the schedule and the grind of, every day. So she would have to have, because her leg had to be propped up. So we had to bring in like this little pillow that was on a stool, and it went with her to her class, and she would be in her wheelchair and they would slide the little stool underneath it. And there was one of the teachers that would help Arielle go to the bathroom, because she would need help whenever she would have to go to the bathroom. So it was work. And the school at the time was very supportive of it. But Dr. Rubel really wanted for her to go back to school as soon as she could. And that, I feel like that helped too. Like she said, the story of seeing her friends and not being able to go outside and play with them and being alone, just really a mindset. And like you said, her strength and resilience, and saying like, I want to try to get stronger. And I think that too helped her. So it, of course, is a testament to the hospital and all that they've done, and the amazing, surgeon, what they did, but also just her grit and resilience, and just knowing what she wanted and that she didn't want to, stay in that chair. It definitely helped.
That's incredible. My daughters are trying to get equal airtime. I miss you too, Hadley. Shakira, they think I'm on TV. They think I'm like, this is a big broadcast.
Well, you are. You are.
They watch YouTube, and some things they watch on YouTube is not appropriate. This one's appropriate, so I'm happy that they're watching it. So the two of you, and when she says, for the listeners, when she says children's, she's talking about the children's hospital in her area, similar to the CMN hospitals that Deb and Tate support all over the place. And Deb says we support her. I feel like it's a two-way street. Like, if you guys wouldn't have introduced me, this is one of my favorite things about what I do, is knowing that for our agents, and I hope they feel it when they're sitting with a difficult client, that some of that money that they're earning is going to go to help someone just like Arielle. But I wanted to ask you, did you know about children's before this, Shakira, at all? Or were you introduced with this tragedy?
That's a great question, because I actually bring that up to my mom a lot. And I knew of the hospital, but we had never been in the hospital. And the only reason I knew about the hospital, I know this sounds silly, is just driving by and seeing the little green and white sign, but B, my mom is a nurse. So she would go to conferences very similar to R4, but more specifically for medical. And she would go to different vendors, and she loves these things. She'll bring home like a bag of all the little goodies that they give. And when she would go, she would have like a hand sanitizer or tissues or something that would have the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta logo. And that's really all I ever knew of it. So, because like I said, Arielle was so, healthy growing up, I never really had, to go there. But now it's like, that's all I know and do. So it's just crazy how life will, present you with these obstacles, and we're just kind of running with it. I love that you guys with Remax the Balloon, I like to say this when we speak all the time. And then also with CMN, or Children's Miracle Network, is also a balloon, because it really is about rising and get up above the obstacles that life will present to you. And I think that our story is one of those, because like you said, Tad, with like your children and your family that are listening, this is something, unfortunately, that could happen to anybody just kind of out of nowhere. But I feel like we've been given this as kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time. It was a curse when it happened because it was a terrible thing, but a blessing has come out of it, because we're able to speak with other people like yourself today and just kind of let them know that this can happen. But, you know, with grace and God and Children's Miracle Network and the wonderful surgeons that work there and the staff, Arielle is a testimony of, even though we're in such a bad, situation, she can now share her story with others and hopefully be an inspiration. So that's all we know now is Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and CMN, and we love sharing her story.
Yeah, thank you. And I know you wanted to go at 10:45, so we'll wrap up here in a few minutes. Somebody said they hate to leave, have an appointment to get to. I want to say this very enlightening show and made me appreciate even more everything in my life and how lucky I am. God bless you too. I think it probably goes without saying, but I want to say it. Shakira, that young lady beside you is very lucky to have you. And you are very lucky to have your mom and your sister. I probably should have had them on the show too, because it sounds like they are your support and your cheerleader. And I learn all the time how important the family fabric is. Yeah. But this event didn't make you an amazing woman, Shakira. You already were. I can tell by the way you talk. You don't learn this kind of stuff. You don't learn this kind of depth. It can get enhanced. But you're very well spoken, you're strong, and she's lucky to have you. So I wanted to say that out loud on the show. And I know she knows that. She, as a 14-year-old, she might not know that every day, but I know she knows that in her heart. And Arielle, let's end with this, because I want to ask one more question, and Ashley, if you want to. But there's my wife, Arielle, keep being strong. Oh, Hazel said that. I want you to meet her one day. I think it'd be really cool. Tell me, Arielle, what is next for you? Like, you've got a bright future ahead. You're 14, getting ready to be 14 years old. What do you see in your future? I know when this happened at 7, if I'd have asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up, you probably would have said, a dancer, or I don't know what. But what now is the future for you? What do you see coming next?
So I've been acting, like on-screen acting, since I've been like a really small kid. So when I grow up, I want to be an actress. That's like my ultimate dream. So one day I would love to move to LA and just chase my dream and like audition for a lot of roles and hopefully book one, because I would love to be in a Blumhouse film, because I love horror movies. Personally, I love the adrenaline of like being scared.
Not like look on your face, Dad.
I mean, you never know what's going to come out in this show. I love it every second of it. I love it. Keep talking.
I just love horror movies. And like The Strangers, that's one of my favorites, I would have to say. So I would love to do that. But after my acting career is over, I would love to go into I would love to get a degree in psychology, because I love like studying the brain, and it's very interesting to me to see how it all works. Or maybe something neuro because of my injury. So, yeah.
I mean, I promise you I could walk in. What grade are you in? What grade?
8th grade.
I could walk in every 8th grade class within the sound of my voice and ask every kid in there, and they wouldn't have an answer like that. I mean, it's just not even possible. And I love how you answer. I love how you answer with this big, beautiful smile on your face. I just love horror movies. Like, that's where they come from. The people like that scare me the most. You scare me. And you're going to be a great actress in a horror film.
This show has had so many ranges of emotions. I mean, we've got laughter, we've got crying, and now we've got some horror mixed in. So with Arielle, you never know what you're going to get.
And Shakira, are you going to follow her to LA? Or are you going to let that girl go out there by herself?
She wants to go out for a pilot season, so we'll see. Like, we're in Florida right now, so you never know where we're going to go. Maybe.
Well, thank y'all. I know I want to be sensitive of time. Thank y'all so much for taking your time to be with us. I mean, you have no idea who this is going to touch, and I know your life has touched me. It's touched my family very directly, and there's going to be people that will listen to this when it's a podcast that will go on. It's going to live on forever. And I would love to make a point to have you back on the show in a year from now, or 2 years from now. Maybe have you a once a year guest so I can keep up with what's going on in your life.
Absolutely.
Both of you, because I don't want this to only be about Arielle. I want Shakira to get the credit you deserve as a call my wife a boss mom. Like you are a boss mom. And I appreciate that more than you know. But Arielle, you are a blessing to this earth. That's why you're still here. And I can't wait to see what happens with it going forward. Thank you for being here. Ashley?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for saying yes to Children's Miracle Network to do this for a year and tell your story this many times and how much that matters. And it must be exhausting to tell the story over and over again. But thank you for sharing it with us. And thank you for doing it the whole year because you didn't have to do that. So this has been great.
Thank you so much, both Ashley and Tad, for having us on the show. This has been very nice, and we appreciate you for wanting us to come on, because you'd be surprised. Not everybody would invite us on to speak. So the fact that you thought that our story was compelling and touching enough, thank you as well.
You are welcome, and thank you to Tate. Thank you to Deb. Thank you to my wife for starting this crazy organization that we're a part of. And have been for some years. We will celebrate the $1 million mark sometime. Maybe we'll have you on as a guest singer when we have our party. We'll bring you down. And if you ever come to Myrtle Beach, look us up. We won't sell you any real estate, but we'll help you have a good time while you're here. Throw a few more comments up here. Carrie, favorite episode by far. Thanks for making my morning. I have a 14 and 15-year-old boy, and you have inspired me. Can't see what the future holds for you. Arielle, Shakira, I'll see you both Monday night. That's from Deb. So thank you. Rise Up Nation, thanks for listening in today to Season 8, Episode 8 with these wonderful human beings. Ashley, thanks as always for anchoring our show with sensibility. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.